Good afternoon, everyone. At the onset, let me welcome Malik ji because since yesterday I was reading his name and I was waiting for him to join, and I think in the afternoon session you will benefit from his vast experience. And for me, it was an opportunity to meet many of my old colleagues, the people who are in the industry. And during my brief stay, I tried to interact with some of the students. And now I have been assigned the job to ask what I will call the teachers of the university. You heard to the professionals, you heard to the scientists, you heard, I think, from vast area of people. But now we are shifting because ultimately they are the person responsible for making the business jobs. With me, I have Dr. Rekha Mehrotra. She will be speaking on application part, mushrooms in the modern world, the showcase of applications. And on my left is Ms. Juhi Batra. He will be speaking on management of mushroom cultivation. And it will be continued further by Ms. Nisha Jain, where she will be talking about the marketing. And I think these are important issues. And our point of view, we call it point of reference. Point of reference for a person in the market, of a farmer, of a grower, of a purchaser is different, and of a teacher is different. And to understand anything in totality, we should have the ability to look at the things from different point of references so that we can understand what others see. Which means that the interaction of this lecture after the lecture will be quite interesting because I know that these days we are finding a number of applications for the mushroom. It is not just growing and eating, it is much more than that. And then marketing, that is the, I think, most challenging question, enhancing marketing. Which every time people will ask, I remember in every training program with the growers, that used to be an important question. Iski paida to kar liya, how to market. So, with these few words, I welcome the speaker and I request Dr. Rekha Mehrotra ji to start our presentation on mushrooms in the modern world, the showcase of application. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. And thank you, Dr. Manjeet, for your introduction. Nature alone is antique, and mushroom is the oldest art. This quote by Thomas Carroll sums up the significance, importance of mushrooms. So mushrooms have been part of human civilization since ancient times. And in the modern world, as Sir rightly said, it is not just restricted to our kitchen, but it has paved its way into many facets of our lives. And at the same time, it is significantly contributing to the economic growth. So in my talk, I will be emphasizing upon the various applications of mushrooms and what is the current status of market to some extent, which then would be covered by my colleagues Juhi and Tanusha. And why we chose this topic, applications, in fact, yesterday also, since yesterday, we are listening to many of the views here that we still need to popularize mushrooms. And for that, it is important that we understand what their applications are and how we can expand our industrial production in various marketing sectors. So, well, there are so many students here. So, just have a look at so many different fascinating varieties of mushrooms: shiitake, pink, blue oyster, white oyster, black oyster, king oyster, portobello. Of course, we have seen much more beautiful pictures in yesterday's talk, but whenever I see these pictures, I'm always fascinated by them. Now, there are many myths about the mushrooms. And in fact, yesterday, when our guest of honor, Tiwari he said that are mushrooms non-vegetarian? So, of course, they are not non-vegetarian. They are very much of vegetarian diet. So there are many, many misconceptions about mushrooms. So that we have to remove. Only then we can make way forward towards popularizing them and consuming them and utilizing them in various industries. Mushrooms are not a vegetarian diet. That is not true. They are very much vegetarian. All mushrooms have hallucinogenic properties. Again, that is not true. Some have, but not all. Mushrooms are not a valuable source of energy or nutrients. In fact, yesterday we had a talk by Dr. Hira where she spoke only about the nutritional aspect of mushrooms. So they are nutrient dense. Mushrooms are difficult to cultivate. Some may not agree with me, but yes, with little bit of skill, you can cultivate them. May not be on a very large scale where you need expertise, but yes, one can cultivate them. It's not a rocket science. Cooking mushrooms removes all their nutritional value. That's again not true. There could be, if you store them, there could be some decline over a period of time, but not the regular cooking. Mushrooms have no environmental benefits. Again, we'll talk about that they have tremendous role to play in environment regulation. Mushrooms are a plant. Of course, so many botany students are here. They'll know that they fall in a separate kingdom of fungi. And yesterday in one of the talks, one of the speakers had mentioned that they are more close to animals than the plant. There is a fascination for vegan market these days. And there is demand for vegan snacks, confectionaries, and there is, if you see this graph, you will see that from 2019 to 2027, there is a 8.9, approximately 9% compound annual growth rate, which is projected for the global vegan market. Why people are turning to vegan diet? Of course, plant-based diet. Ethics. 47.5% people, they for ethical reasons, they want to switch to the plant-based diet. Following vegan diet. For health reasons, again a large number. To prevent food allergies, people switch to vegan diets. Environmental concerns, of course, a good percentage. Taste, 25%. And sometimes to follow new trends. Vegan diet, it's something, you want to, you want something new to try. And mushrooms, they make a very important part of the vegan diet because they are very rich in nutrients, and sometimes we like to believe that non-vegetarian diet is more nutritious, has more protein content, but if you have mushrooms in your vegan diet, they can very much address the issue of nutrition. Now, if you see the growing market potential, before we move to the application, So what is the market potential for these mushrooms? And as you can see that it is rapidly increasing. If you see towards the right hand side, expected growth rate to 2027 is almost 10%, which is quite a big percentage. And there are key players, list of companies who are already into it, and they are very much, they are the ones who are involved in this market, mushroom market. If you see worldwide, what is the share of mushroom market? Of course, Asia Pacific occupies maximum share, then followed by Europe, North America, Central and South America, and Middle East and Africa, where it can be expanded. There's a lot more scope in that region. Well, I'll quickly go through these slides. Button mushrooms, the ones which we commonly see and which we commonly consume. And in fact, even in India, almost 2/3 of the mushroom production is button. And even for this button mushroom also, you can see that North America, Europe, Asia Pacific, South America, Middle East, and Africa, there is increased market. If you see the bars, right from 2023 to 2030, it is showing sharp increase in the market. Oyster mushroom, commonly known as dhingri. It is very easy to grow. I mean, as far as button mushroom is concerned, it's little more time consuming, but oyster mushrooms can be grown little quickly. And you can see how beautiful it looks. It is again contains a lot of antioxidants, and it exhibits immunomodulatory effect. And this also occupies almost 15% as far as Indian market is concerned, and its farming is more prevalent in Kerala and Tamil Nadu. And again, you can see a rise from 2023 to 2030 in all regions of the world as far as the market dynamics are concerned. So till now, we have not seen any dip. King oyster, another very exotic variety of mushrooms, and it is prized for its firm, chewy texture and rich umami flavor. And its advantages, when you cook it, it doesn't lose its shape and you have the chewy, meaty texture. So people who are consuming non-veg diets, this can be an alternative if they gradually want to shift to the vegan diet. And of course, the production is less because of the low domestic demand. And if we popularize its consumption, the production will go up, automatically price will go down. Currently, the price is around 1200 per kg. So for a common man, if you say that you want to consume a vegetable of 1200 per kg, so it's not something which is easily palatable. So we need to bring down the cost, and that can only be done by increased production, and increased production because of the increased demand. And demand, we need to popularize it. And this table summarizes about various aspects of mushrooms. The segments cover, as you can see, various types of oysters are there, and a different king oyster also, apart from button mushrooms, the regular one. And the distribution channels are hypermarkets, supermarkets, convenience stores, specialty stores, and online stores. With local vendors, we find only the button mushrooms. And countries covered, lot many. So it is not just limited to Asia Pacific region, as I've shown in one of my previous slides. The percentage can vary, but lot many countries, they are growing. And market players cover, these are some of the global companies which are the market players. And there is definite market opportunity. Now, consumers are getting more and more aware, and they are choosing edibles that add more value to their healthy lifestyle and their routine. And there is an increase of fascination. I won't say fascination, but yes, organic food. We consider that to be more healthy option. So there is growing popularity of organic food among conscious consumers. And growing participation of farmers and entrepreneurs in oyster mushroom production has steadily increased. And one such interaction we are witnessing even now, where there are so many mushroom growers and the consumers. Shimiji mushrooms, here you find that it is joined at the stalks, and this is a pleasant, delicate flavor. And again, nutritionally dense, I'm not talking about the nutritional aspect of each and every variety, because we know that all are nutritionally very, very priced high. And there is, even for this Shemaji, there is increase in the CAGR by 4.5% by 2027. Cordyceps, it's not an edible mushroom, but yes, this mushroom has a lot of medicinal importance, and this is found only in Himalayan regions, and it grows in caterpillars. And if we have to derive the active component of this, that is cordycepin, that cost 10 to 12 lakhs per kg. And this is believed to have a lot of anti-cancer properties, anti-aging properties, and it is good for vitality and stamina, and besides other health benefits. And the market status is like that Cordyceps militaris is cultivated by companies Eli and BioPretty. And even now, you find that there is increase in the global market share, and it is expected to grow by 11.1%. And you can see that even in India, there is notable surge in interest, as it is evident from the cordyceps production, where it was 25 kg per month to now 28 kg per day, reflecting the growth demand in the Indian market. Well, this slide gives a basic overview that it is not only the food and nutrition industry, but it has found its place in medicinal, pharmaceutical, cosmetics, leather, micro-packaging industry, environment conservation, and in general, the farming. And now we will take up each one separately. As I said, that Dr. Hira spoke in depth about the nutrition aspect, but those who were not there yesterday, you can see that it is low in calories, so good for weight management. It promotes gut health because it promotes the growth of prebiotics. Rich in essential nutrients, vitamin D, good for bone health, vitamin B for neural health, and minerals like selenium and potassium. Prebiotic properties and rich in other micronutrients. It's a rich source of proteins as well. It's part of keto diet. And the protein which is found in the mushrooms is of very good quality. And it doesn't have those effects which sometimes we face when we consume a lot of pulses. If we are on high protein diet, we consume a lot of pulses. But then when we consume a lot of pulses, there is issue of uric acid deposition in the body. and the doctors then ask you to cut down your pulses, then what do? How do you fulfill your protein requirement? So then these mushrooms, their protein, their rich source of protein, their mushrooms, they can replace the pulses to some extent. And of course, it has high fiber content. Just a comparison, if you see, there is muscle foods, that's meat, non-veg stuff, and that also has certain advantages. And at the same time, you can see towards one side, mushroom is also showing so many health benefits. So not much difference between non-vegetarian food or the vegetarian food as far as nutrition is concerned. And you can see here, just a quick glimpse, 0 grams of cholesterol, 0 grams of fat, more than 12 vitamins and minerals, and lot of antioxidants, and excellent source of 3 different vitamin Bs. And mushroom market in food sector is also experiencing a significant growth to the tune of almost 10%. These are some of the value-added products. In fact, there were more which we saw yesterday in one of the speakers' slide. Mushroom powder. I think many of you must have seen the film actor Sunil Shetty in some channels advertising about the mushroom powder, that how it can improve your health if you add in various food preparations. So mushroom powder is one such. It can be added in soups. It can be added in your roti and chila, dhokla, just to enhance the nutrition content. Mushroom pickle, mushroom soup. Of course, mushroom soup we consume. We relish the taste very much. Mushroom chips, mushroom jam, mushroom candies. But there is a big list of value-added products. Mushroom leather for future use. When we use leather, sometimes we often feel that it is obtained from animals. And when we talk about cruelty towards animals, we like to switch to some other options. And these days we find, many people are not opting for animal-based leather. So mushrooms can be a substitute for that. So it's a sustainable alternative. It has customizable properties. It can be customized. It's a biodegradable material, animal friendly. You are not killing any animal. Tanning free production. So cutting down on the pollution. And yes, there is a market share in the leather sector to the tune of 26.6%, which is quite a good market share. But yes, right now, the way the production is going on, the cost is little high. So we need to develop technologies which can cut down the cost of this micro leather. And again, the market is grow to the tune of 5.8% in 10 years from 2022 to 2032. And this company, MycoWorks, so that is utilizing mushrooms in the leather industry to create an alternative to traditional animal leather. Valuable source for packaging industry. You know how much waste we are generating these days? In the paper a few days back, I was reading that by 2040, Delhi will be churning out almost 19,000 tons of waste per day. Now, how to manage this waste? It's not about waste management. Point is, where to keep this waste? How many landfills you have in Delhi? Just 3. So where are we keeping this waste? So that is one big issue. And how to recycle it, how to manage the waste, well, that's a different topic altogether. So this mushroom can be a valuable source for packaging industry. And one more thing is that these days in the era of e-commerce, we make so many online purchases. And whenever we buy even a small article of half a kg bottle, it is wrapped in bubble wrap, then another paper is there, then a small carton is there. So how much waste are we generating? And how to take care of these bubble wraps, another plastic contributing to the plastic pollution. So yes, mushrooms can be a valuable source for packaging industry. And today in Mr. Arun Gupta's talk, he was saying that we need to cut down plastic use even for growing mushrooms when we use plastic grow bags. So well, if we use mushrooms as packaging material, of course, it's going to have low environmental impact. It's lightweight and durable, reduced waste, and fungal growth and production efficiency that has been determined. And it has insulation properties for temperature sensitive products. So sometimes when we buy products which need to be stored at particular temperature, so this can be an alternative because of its insulation properties. And already there are industries which are using this mushroom packaging. Dell, IKEA, I think IKEA most of us are familiar with. Furniture, they deal in those in that brand. Ecovative, Crate and Bubble, and Seedlip. So these are some of the companies which are using the mushroom packaging. Of course, there are many more, but these are big players. And you can see again here the market is growing from 2022 to 2032. There is increase as far as household, in the household segment, commercial segment, and the retail. Well, when we were talking about cordyceps mushroom, they have huge medicinal properties. So mushrooms are a boon for pharmacological sectors. In fact, when somebody was asking yesterday that whether nutraceuticals can be part of pharmaceuticals, so yes, they can be. There is one company which is using one particular component for neural disorders, and they are using these active compounds from the mushrooms in their preparations. So they enhance the immune system, they regulate the blood sugar level, improves cognitive function, improves digestive health, improves bone health. I mean, you name it, they have all the benefits: antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, anti-obesity. And I think now in current scenario, each one of us is suffering from one of these issues, and mushrooms can be a solution to that to some extent, of course. I'm not saying they're replacing medicines. A boon for pharmacological sectors, again, there is sharp increase from 2022 to 2029. And in fact, the compound annual growth rate is again expected to grow at by almost 10%. Yeah, this is the company. There are several companies that are using mushrooms as a component in medicine or in the pharmacological sector. One example is this company, Compass Pathway, which is a leading company in the field of psychedelic medicine. They are developing this synthetic form of psilocybin, and this compound, which is found in some mushrooms for the treatment of mental health conditions, that is depression. And this depression is very, very common these days. We may not be knowing about it, we may not be talking about it, but yes, mental health is an ongoing issue. It's valuable source for cosmetic industry. Anti-aging products, skin brightening, and even toning. And in fact, we have also published a paper about mushroom-based cosmeceuticals and upcoming biotechnology sector. Natural skin exfoliants acne and blemish control, skin hydration, natural sunscreen, nail care products, hair care products, you name it, and it fulfills all these criteria which we buy from the market, which, though we talk about Ayurvedic products, yes, but most of the time we are using chemical-based cosmetics. You can see here that these are some of the cosmetic industries which are using mushrooms. Origins, that's a skincare brand, and it has a line of products called Mega Mushroom, which utilizes mushroom like reishi, chaga, cordyceps for soothing and calming properties for sensitive skin. Youth to the people. This company offers a superfood airwave moisture cream that contains adaptogenic reishi mushroom extract, and this helps to reduce redness and promotes a healthy complexion. Tula Skincare, another company that incorporates a mushroom extract in some of its product, and it is good for moisturizing and hydrating properties. And then similarly, another company offering range of skincare products that feature mushrooms. Mushrooms in agriculture. That's a very important aspect, that because of the vertical farming nature of mushrooms, we save on a lot of land resources. We don't have to depend on all the crops which need land. So because of the vertical nature of these mushrooms, I think they can be part of, they should be more, they should have a more share in the agriculture. Of course, there are issues which we have been listening to about the growing mushrooms as far as entrepreneurs are concerned. So it is a local and sustainable agriculture. It utilizes organic waste, and you don't have to use a ready-made compost, but you can use agricultural waste. And year-round production, high-value crops, small-scale farming. You don't need a very big setup. It need not be watered. It doesn't require watering every day like in conventional agriculture. So you save on a lot of manpower as well as natural resources, and diversification of crop portfolio. So you can see here, this again, the share is increasing, and there is a steady increase from 2017, 18, 19, 20, but then by 2028, it is expected to grow at a CAGR of 4%. Mushrooms in beekeeping. It has been found that mushrooms indirectly impact beekeeping by contributing to ecosystem health, which in turn supports bee population. So apiculture, another very big industry, and the presence, the cultivation of mushrooms in those regions that promotes bee health and better production of the products. Mushrooms, guardians of ecosystem. When we say that we utilize agricultural waste, that means we are solving to some extent the issue of agricultural waste by mushroom farming. It improves the soil health, because once the mushrooms are being harvested, the spent mushroom compost that can be used as a fertilizer, and that can improve the soil health and fertility. And carbon sequestration. I heard yesterday somebody was saying that 5 kg of agricultural waste can be converted to 1 kg. We can produce 1 kg of mushrooms from that. So that's a pretty good percentage. It improves forest health, and yes, biodiversity support. And biodiversity is another very big concern when we talk of sustainable life on Earth. Waste to wealth, as you can see, that spent mushroom substrate, that once we harvest the mushrooms, the compost can still be utilized as a compost to make novel food and cosmetics, animal feed, vermiculture, bioremediation, and alternative fuel and biogas. In fact, if you visit the exhibition, there is a stall put up by Grow Diesel, and they utilize this agricultural waste and convert that into biofuel. So to some extent, it is also solving the energy issues. Stubble trouble, the problem. Yes, who is not aware about Parali? Who is not grappling with the pollution of, with the air pollution in Delhi? Ask Delhiites. They have to suffer a lot in this month, and one of the contributors is Parali burning. And in fact, in so many news channels, when they were talking about the solutions to Parali burning, they were one of the solutions they were talking about was mushroom cultivation. So yes, it can be really taken up on a war footing basis so that mushroom farming can contribute towards stubble trouble. Mushroom cultivation, the solution for Parali, you can see here, as it's not just that we use rice straw or the paddy straw or the wheat straw, but there are so many different crop residues, banana, cinnamon, sunflower, bajra, a huge list is there. And as Mr. Arun sir was saying in the morning talk, that if we have agricultural waste available in the south, we don't have to use that waste in the north. The transportation expenses will go up. So whatever waste is available, see, there is a huge list of the waste which can be used for commercial mushroom production. And this is just to give you an overview. Now we know that where all it can be utilized, it has so many applications and it has a reasonably good market potential, and the market is growing, as was evident from some of the graphics which I showed. Food and beverage, you can see it is occupying almost 40-45%, dietary supplements, pharmaceutical, and others. So that's the global functional mushroom market, and it is expected to grow. And as yesterday, our Vice Chancellor sir was talking about sustainable development goals, so mushrooms can fulfill almost 6 to 7 of the 17 sustainable development goals. Zero hunger, good health and well-being, decent work and economic growth. And I said that yes, mushrooms are contributing to the economic growth, sustainable cities and communities, climate action, sequestration of carbon, life below water. The mushrooms cut down ocean plastic waste. There are some reports that yes, they can degrade the plastic as well. Fruits of labor. We are growing mushrooms on a very small scale in our college, and our main focus is training and imparting the skill set to the students. And it is not just imparting the skill set, but it is also about popularizing the mushroom production or the mushroom farming, so that students know that what holds this science of mushrooms, and they can definitely look at as a future option. So it is not that we are commercially exploiting, or we are selling it to that an extent, but yes, we are developing the manpower. And as somebody was saying, that there is massive demand for skilled manpower in the mushroom industry. So let this manpower be available from the industries, thus fulfilling the industry-university gap. And I'm sure With this kind of summit, definitely we can achieve that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Mr. I think he highlighted the myths, starting with the very first one, that whether it's a vegetarian or not. Before we open the topic for discussion, I would like to add that yes, it is a vegetarian food. Many times this question is asked. A question is asked that whether it is vegetarian or not. We have to tell, because we will have to answer this question at different platforms. Firstly, this classification that mushrooms are fungi, they are not plants, not animals, is a scientific classification. Whereas vegetarianism is a social classification. Secondly, vegetarianism has got nothing to do with animals. We all eat animal products. The most sacred thing for us is called milk and desi ghee, which is an animal product. And thirdly, all vegetarians eat mushroom is a fungus, and all vegetarians eat lot of fungus almost daily. When you eat dosa or bread, everything has got yeast. And when one yeast is vegetarian, the other thing is also vegetarianism. And I think she highlighted all the applications. The application like cosmetics and anti-aging must have been of interest both to the young and old people. Coming to the agriculture, I always say that next evolution in agriculture will depend on our ability to recycle agro waste. If we can utilize agro waste properly, we can come out with the next food revolution. Without that, we really cannot meet the demands of the food, and mushroom is definitely one of that. And many times we do not highlight the importance of our subject like fungi. Life cannot exist on this planet without fungi. Because lignin degradation is possible mainly only because of fungi. Without that, carbon cycle will break. The forest you see, 90% of the forest trees possibly cannot grow well without the aid of the fungi. She highlighted all these applications in the form of agriculture, and she also highlighted the different types of mushrooms, their growth rate, global market potential, and I am very sure that there was something for everyone in the audience in the talk. Now, any questions?
I forgot to show this slide, and this is the most important slide. Our team members, the patron of our project, Professor Payal Mago, she is here with us. And we have all the key members, Dr. Kohinoor, Dr. Richa, Dr. Aarti, Dr. Preeti, Dr. Tanusha is there, Dr. Juhi is also with us. And yes, without a good team, we cannot work.
You can wait there only. I think if there are some questions.
Okay. Okay. We can have discussion afterwards once their talk is done. Yes, that will be better.
Suggestion is that the question from the audience will be after we complete our three lectures. The next talk is on the financial aspect and management aspect by
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, one and all. So the next leg of this session is going to span around the management perspective of mushroom cultivation. Why mushroom cultivation? The why behind mushroom cultivation from entrepreneurial perspective. So I've been part of the house since yesterday, and I know there are many entrepreneurs, mushroom growers in the house. You have much wide experience than me. The insights in my presentation are coming from the experiences I had co-managing Project Green Haven. So this Project Green Haven was the brainchild of our ma'am, Professor Dr. Payal Mago ma'am. It is a mushroom cultivation program The project was initiated amid pandemic, and then the focus was addressing unemployment among migrant laborers and food security. Today, the focus is on producing freshest, high quality organic mushrooms, also training the students, building the manpower as mushroom growers. So I'll begin my presentation. So first is the growth, the global mushroom market. It has been well emphasized by Dr. Rekha ma'am in her presentation of how the mushroom consumption, mushroom adoption techniques, and mushroom production is growing globally. It was marked $20 billion in 2020, and it is going to escalate from there. The growth rate expected across various research reports is 4.4%, the compounded annual growth rate. The major production centers are China, US, Italy, Netherlands, Poland, while various consumption centers are part of European nations. One thing that I would like to emphasize here, that was also the part of Rekha ma'am's presentation, is how Asia Pacific region is leading in mushroom production. Asia Pacific region is going to get the highest growth in terms of mushroom per capita mushroom consumption, mushroom production, mushroom cultivation adoption technology. China is already the global leader in mushroom production. More than 50% of global mushroom production is already coming from China. But rest of Asia Pacific region, including India, has still a lot to gain from mushroom production in terms of economic development, in terms of environmental sustainability. So our optimism around mushroom popularization and commercialization in future rests on two pillars. First being the multifunctionality of mushroom as a supplementary diet and its growing awareness, as it has been rightly mentioned that mushroom is packed with protein, nutrients, vitamins, minerals. It is a part of vegan diet, gluten-free diet. And nowadays, even its medicinal qualities are being tested for. R&D is conducted for in white mushrooms to find if there is any cure for cancer. So such qualities are being, the awareness is being spread. People are becoming more cognizant of the nutritional value of mushroom, and hence the per capita mushroom consumption stands to rise from here. Another pillar of mushroom cultivation is its cost effectiveness. Although the costs vary from the type of mushroom being grown, from the scale at which the mushroom is being grown, the technology that is deployed, but if anybody wants to cultivate the mushroom, they can just do it with a little space and little money. Now I'll be scrutinizing the mushroom cultivation from an investment standpoint. I'll be conducting the cost and return analysis on mushroom cultivation. So starting with the cost drivers, the cost of mushroom cultivation can be classified as, broadly classified as fixed cost and variable cost. Within fixed cost, we can classify the setup cost into infrastructural cost and equipment cost. Infrastructural cost would involve the cost of building a dedicated facility with shelves, with trays, slabs, containers. Now, we can start a small scale cultivation in a small room, backyard, back alley, basement, or we can have a full blown farm facility for cultivating mushroom if we are doing it commercially. Coming to the second leg of fixed cost, that is equipment requirements. So my experience is into growing button mushrooms and oysters. So equipment requirement may vary for other type of mushrooms and will become more sophisticated when it is portobello or shiitake mushroom. But generally we need humidifiers, temperature control systems, thermometer, incubator, sterilizers, and various equipments for substrate preparation. So those were the equipment requirements. Now coming to the variable part of cost, that is raw material, labor, and utilities. So this is the major cost driver for a small scale cultivator like us. Most of the cost comes from raw material, labor, and utilities. Also, this part of cost driver poses a lot of management challenges. Procurement of raw material, procurement of rice, right kind of spawn, right species of spawn, identifying the right vendor. Cultivating it in Delhi is even more difficult because you have to look into the outskirts for the vendors. So identifying the right vendors, then identifying a skillful labor to help us with the manpower. The seasonality component of mushroom cultivation can also pose a challenge for finding labor when needed. So these will be the cost drivers. On the basis of our cultivation experience, we have seen that 80% of the cost is variable in nature, where 40% of the cost is grappling towards raw material, 30% to labor, 12% to logistics, and rest to infrastructural requirements. Now, we were doing it on a small scale, and we had a dedicated space facility available. So infrastructural requirements and equipment requirement did not charge us to a very high expense. Rest, the variable cost, is the biggest cost driver. Coming to return analysis. So we started out with 500 grams of compost. We were doing button mushroom and we started out 500 kilograms of compost. So when the processing was done, all the steps were taken up, we could put it under 120 PPE bags, 120 growing bags. And in an ideal scenario, it is expected that a PPE bag will give a flush 3 to 4 times, each of 750 grams to 1 kg. So expected production out of these 120 substrate bags were 300 kilograms. So we started out with 500 kgs of compost and should have ended up, in ideal case scenario, the expected production 300 kgs for button mushroom. Taking the average price as 250 per kilo, we could expect a revenue of 82,500. So expenses that we incurred in entire production, processing, and distribution was 62,500. Comparing the revenue with the expense, we found that ROI could be as high as 33.33%. And this 33.33% is only for button mushroom, the variety which is most widely consumed, most widely cultivated, produced, and has very competitive pricing. If we go on growing more rarer kind of varieties of mushroom like portobello, shiitake, cordyceps, the return on investment, which is 33% here, will grow exponentially. So these are all expectations, and in ideal case scenario, we would have expected such kind of returns, but reality is often different from the expectations. We had certain challenges. We had certain obstacles. I've already mentioned the supply chain problems, the problems with procurement of raw material, procurement of labor. One major challenge to get the required quantity of cropping is the environmental factor, climate factors. As a small scale cultivator, our dependence on the weather and weather forecast was pretty high. And any abrupt climate change can change the production adversely. And temperature extremes, seasonal variation. So it is important for management, whoever is managing cultivation, to be able to precisely manage the temperature, manage the humidity, manage the airflow while cultivating mushrooms. Another very important aspect is, for any business, is to be able to standardize the procedures. Be able to state the standardization of procedures in the most preciseful manner. But since it's an agri-business, it becomes difficult to precisely state it and implement it. That can have a bearing on the quality of the mushroom. Another challenge that we faced was that we could not scale up till date to a very high scale. We have never anticipated of going at that higher scale, but to be able to crack the B2B segment. You can easily serve B2C segment with a small facility. But if you want to crack B2B segment where continuous demand has to be met, it is important to scale up. Scaling up the operations, automating the processes is very important, and transitioning to that large scale facility has its own challenges and difficulties. So that would be it from my end. I'd like to invite Ms. Tanusha to take it ahead.
Thank you, Juhi. Good afternoon to one and all. I'll be taking up the marketing aspects of mushrooms. So I'll be taking up the experiential learnings that we have taken up during the Green Haven projects, and I'll be broadly covering certain marketing strategies that are there. So once we start marketing the mushrooms, we first need to know what our target customer audience is. We need to know to whom to sell our customers. So first and foremost, we have a huge customer segment of health conscious customers that are coming up post pandemic. So now the consumers are wanting foods that are rich in vitamins, that are rich in protein, and for them we have the right target audience to target. Second is a increase in the vegan customers. So we, as Rekha ma'am has already mentioned, that veganism is increasing in our country also. So using mushroom as a meat substitute on the account of its umami taste. So here we find a huge consumer base to which we can target our products. Lot of companies, lot of organizations today are using mushrooms as supplements. So again, this is a B2B business segment that we as growers, we as small businesses could target. Now, processed mushroom market is growing in the foreign as well as the regional Indian markets. So here we also have a huge potential that is in our native country, that is India, and we also have a huge potential outside of India, that is the export potential. Another B2B segment that we could target as a mushroom grower is the pharmaceutical industry. As already mentioned by Dr. Rekha ma'am, there is a huge potential in the pharmaceutical industries. Now, mushroom is being used as a medicinal product, so we can also sell our products to the pharmaceutical industry. So a huge potential lies ahead in the B2B segment and the B2C segment when we talk of mushroom consumption. Next is the key competitors. Whenever we are marketing any product, we are not marketing in isolation. So we should be well aware of who our competitors are. So here is a list of the established mushroom growers. This data is based on the 2022 data, and the market share, it is a very dynamic concept, so it may change from time to time, but these are the leading mushroom players that are presently there in India. First is the Sylvian Agro, then we have the Himalayan Fresh, Greenyard Horticultural, Gourmet Mushroom Company, Rich Exotica, Crisp Food Private Limited. So all these companies, they are focusing on selling a variety of mushrooms. They are focusing on innovative mushroom technologies, and they have been capturing a huge market share to their Next is the branding and positioning strategies. Now, as we have already discussed, that there is a huge competition that is lying in the market from the small growers as well as the well-established players. We as marketers should put our brand on forefront and differentiate it from our competitors and create a positioning in the mind of the consumers that is better than our competitors. So I would be highlighting certain strategies, certain motivational elements that I as a brand grower, I as a marketer could emphasize on my product, that is mushroom. So first and foremost, while I'm creating my advertising strategy, I could highlight on the nutritional aspects of the product. As we have already been talking about the nutritional benefits of mushrooms, we in our adverts could focus on these nutritional benefits. Secondly, we could embrace sustainability. So in today's market, there is a huge growth in the consumers who have the mindset of sustainability. So we can leverage sustainability as a key brand element in our promotions, in our adverts. We can tell the consumers about the organic farming and the efficient strategies that the company is using, and this was create a very positive brand perception in the minds of the consumer who are embracing sustainability. Third is diversifying the product offerings. So we cannot just move into one segment, we have to diversify so as to gain a market share. So we as a grower, or we as a small enterprise could enter into growing diverse markets. Like we can grow varieties of mushroom. For example, I'm just growing button mushroom. I could grow oyster mushrooms. I could grow portobello mushrooms. I can go in for dried products, ready to eat snacks. So this would help me capture a wider market share and to cater to a large segment of audience. The fourth method is local and authentic storytelling. So I could create my brand narrative across the emotional marketing. I could create my adverts across the local and authentic aspects of mushroom cultivation, the traditional methods that we are using. We could create our stories around the farmers, and this would help to create a positive brand perception into the minds of the consumer. Then we could also go about doing the educational marketing. Educational marketing is one form of marketing which we did at Green Haven project, and its major purpose is to create brand awareness. So we have already discussed that there are certain myths regarding mushroom, and people are not aware about certain kinds of mushroom. Like while we were selling oyster mushrooms and king oyster mushrooms, people were not aware about these mushrooms. So educational marketing would help to create a positive brand awareness in the market, and we could have certain programs, certain skill development programs, or probably we could have some culinary competitions wherein we can tell them about the uses of mushrooms. We could also tell them about the recipes, and we at Green Haven have we did a mushroom recipe building competition, and we have published a book called Mush Tales, which has all the recipes of various kind of mushrooms that are being there. The next positioning strategy could be collaborating with the chefs and the influencers. So chefs and influencers in this industry will be the opinion leaders. What they are saying would be heard, and they would be reaching to a larger consumer segment. So this could also help us to build our brand, reach to a larger set of audience, and our values of the brand would align with the values of the chefs and the influencers that we are targeting. Another way of positioning and creating our brand could be through promotions and loyalty programs. Now, the major aim of promotions and loyalty programs is to aim at customer retention and customer loyalty. So while I'm selling the products, I could engage in offering certain promotions, certain discounts, buy one, get one, certain bulk discounts, and I would also try to engage loyalty from my customers so that I can ensure repeat purchases. So in that case, I could have some referral programs, some loyalty-based programs for my brand. Last but not the least, we as a mushroom grower could participate in the various industry events that are there, the various trade events, seminar, conferences like we are doing here, and there we can interact directly with the consumers, with the audiences, and we can promote our product. Now, talking about the distribution strategy. So once my product is there with me, I have promoted it. Now, the next step in the marketing strategy would be to send it to the consumers who are ready to use it, ready to consume it, be it the B2B segment or the B2C segments. So what are the various avenues through which I can distribute my products? First is the local markets. I can align with the local vendors, local dealers in my market, in my areas, tell them to sell my products. Second is supermarkets. I can have certain collaboration, certain programs with the retail market. In the case of retail market, I could have a better reach out to a greater audience and since the products there will be displayed, I would, as a marketer, receive a better visibility as compared to a local market. Next is the e-commerce presence or the online presence. So e-commerce these days is taking a major role. A lot of consumers are there present on the e-commerce. So I, as a marketer, could have a very well established website wherein I am portraying and displaying my products. It should have a robust payment system, a payment gateway. I should also focus on search engine optimization, and I can also target specific demographics that I'm looking for, that we have discussed in the segments earlier. And I could create specific online ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, social media ads, and promote the products through that. And one major thing that we should ensure while we are promoting the products online is that we should ensure home delivery, efficient home delivery, so that the product reaches the consumer. We should have a robust cold storage and logistics. There should be well established storage control rooms, because it is a perishable product. So we should keep all these things, the distribution channels in my place, all these things in place. Next, I can collaborate with restaurants, with culinary businesses. So while we were doing the project Green Haven, we had certain collaborations with good restaurants, but due to certain challenges of scalability, we could not take it ahead. But we could. This is a good point of distributing the products to the market. Next, we could focus on the pricing strategies. Now, costing is done on the basis of the raw material procurement. All that was taken up by Ms. Juhi. Now, there are strategies, pricing strategies from marketing standpoint of view also. So that might change. There might be some seasonal variations. So during different seasons, pricing could fluctuate, pricing could change. Then varietal pricing. Now, the pricing would not remain same for all kinds of mushroom. For mutton mushroom, the pricing would be different. From oyster mushroom, it could be different. Another factor that would affect my pricing would be packaging and presentation. So, if I'm packaging the product in certain sophisticated way, the labeling is very attractive, the product could be priced differently as compared to another kind of product. Distribution channel, the product would also vary. The pricing would also vary from the distribution channel that I am using. Whether I am selling it online, whether I am selling it through a local retailer, the pricing would also affect that. Then the economic factors, how the economy is, what is the GDP. Then supply chain cost, what are my raw material cost, what are my transportation costs. And we as growers should try to minimize these costs. And at the same time, government policies and subsidies are also play a major role in the pricing strategies. So that was all from my side. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Ms. Gulshan. We have seen that Dr. Ekta Mehrotra, Ms. Devi Batra, Ms. Lucy Jain put a lot of efforts to collect an excellent material, summarize it, and put it before you as they perceive. And I'm very sure that this material will be very useful to the audience and especially for the students in the subsequent training programs. Let's thank and give a big clap for all the speakers.
I have to make a point for Dr. Rekha. I believe that mushroom institute is also working on all kinds of mushroom. But I think you're based in Delhi.
Yes, sir, Delhi University.
Based in Delhi, if you can really,
It's working.
if you can really work on some alternative use of mycelium, as you mentioned somewhere in like mushroom leather, mushroom furniture.
Packaging.
So these are the items, because we all are running towards the culinary mushrooms.
Yes.
Definitely, but India is yet to develop culinary, developing the taste. Our consumption is very, very poor in the world.
Yes.
So, but the mushroom leather, mushroom furniture, mushroom packaging, that has a big future. It not only uses, like you mentioned about Parali, like those kind of products on which you can develop your mycelium and develop a way to have like sorts of websites. It is very, very fine that you can't imagine this better than the animal lab. So these are areas where the research organizations should focus on. I believe that is a very big future for exports also.
Yes. Thank you, sir. So much. Thank you, being right. In US, there are more than 20 companies working only on mushroom leather and related products. And some of them have patented their technologies. Good thing is that those patents are not applicable in India because the patent has been taken in US. So it is a time that some of the scientists start focusing on these things. And I know some of the IIT students, some I think IIT, they have already started working on making packaging material and making mushroom leather. And maybe after 5 years, if we meet again, you will see a mushroom leather in our hand.
Our bags made of leather.
So I know there will be many more questions, but it is always a odd situation to chair a session just before the lunch because people are thinking about food rather than the question. Now, request that the question you may ask at the time of lunch. With this, I thank all the participants and the audience. Thank you very much.
I thank all the speakers for sharing their words of wisdom with us. Now I would like to invite Dr. Richa Sharma to join us to present a token of appreciation and gratitude to our esteemed speakers. Dr. Manjeet. Dr. Rekha Mehrotra. Miss Tanusha Jain. Miss Juhi. Thank you, ma'am.